Check, check, 1, 2. Check, check, 1, 2. Okay. I guess welcome to Odaiba.
Yeah, Odaiba here.
Odaiba. Not your first time in Odaiba, right?
No, I've visited Odaiba maybe a few times.
A few times.
Yes.
Not the best places in Tokyo.
There are a lot of places to visit in Tokyo.
Right. Okay. Welcome to the 5th episode of Pivot Play. My name is Adi Chandra and I'm your host. And Pivot Play interviews a wide variety of guests and individuals, people that have found their way in life, but also maybe lost their way and found it back. And our next guest today is Eri Ike. Eri lives in Tokyo and has been in Tokyo for the past several years. She's not from Tokyo, and I think she's had a very interesting life experience, and I'm excited to talk to you, Eri, today as my next guest. So welcome to Pivot Play.
Okay, thank you for inviting me to Pivot Play as a guest.
Maybe tell us about yourself. There's a introduction about who you are, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, so I met Ari through Toastmaster Club. We met maybe 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago.
Pandemic time.
Pandemic time, yeah, online. And we use English in the Toastmaster Club. That's why we met. And for my business life, I'm working for an animal hospital group company. And before this April, I was the president of the company. And there was a reconsolidation or restructuring of the company due to the parent company's president changed last year and the company consolidated. And now I'm the director of the animal hospital group in the same company. And I also have a license of veterinarian. So I love animals.
Okay. Before we continue, what is Toastmasters?
Toastmaster is I think international non-profit organization, and it encourages us to speak in front of people in English or in Japanese, or
Right.
you can choose the language.
Right. So how long ago did you join this Toastmasters, and why did you decide to join?
So I joined Toastmaster Club maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and I wanted to practice English, especially in front of people. I'm not good at English before, and my first career I used English sometimes, but my second career I didn't use English at all. So I want to keep my English level and also improve my English skills. So I joined Toastmasters.
Okay. And how long has it been?
For Toastmasters? So maybe 4 years.
4 years? Okay. So it's in the same club,
Yes.
Minami Aoyama Business.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'm not sure. Toastmasters, I think, used to be more well-known, at least in the United States. I'm not sure how many people these days actually still know what Toastmasters is about. Yeah. The first time I heard about it, actually, I was in college. But I didn't know, and I wasn't participating at that time in a Toastmasters club. And for me personally, I first joined when I had a Toastmasters club in my company. Somebody set it up, and they wanted to have a club, and so yeah, I decided, okay, why not? And so that's how I started. But during pandemic, we stopped meeting in person. So it was very difficult to maintain the club activities. Then finally, the club just disappeared.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, it was shut down. Just
sad.
like a lot of things that happened in pandemic. Yeah, it was done. Okay, interesting. How did you end up in Tokyo?
So from how can I say? From my elementary school life, I lived in Kyoto when I was elementary school, and at fourth or fifth grade, I moved to Osaka due to my father's job, and then after I graduated high school, I moved to Hokkaido.
Right.
And then when I graduated from the university, I moved to Tokyo. So I lived many places.
Cool. So, can I ask you about your name?
Sorry.
Eri Ike.
Yes,
So,
Eri
Eri
Ike.
Ike.
Eri.
Is there a meaning behind it?
My name Eri. So honestly, I was born in the United States. When my father worked for maybe 2 or 3 years in the United States, and I was born. So my father named me Eri because American can pronounce my name easily. And also the first character, Eri, E is 英語の A, English, and the Ri is Sato. So it means English hometown or something if I translate it directly in English.
Right, yeah.
And also the Ri, Sato, the character, my grandmother also used Ri, same Chinese character.
Same character.
So my father chose the same word, same character.
I see. Is that a common name?
Yeah, common name, but not common Chinese characters combination.
I see. I see. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that you were born in the United States.
Yeah, Kentucky.
Oh, you were born in Kentucky?
Yeah.
What city?
Lexington.
Lexington, Kentucky. Okay. Interesting.
But I don't remember at all because only 0 to 1 or 2 years old, so I don't remember at all.
Wow. Okay, so technically you're American.
Yeah, technically, yes.
My connection to Kentucky is only my cousin. I have a cousin who used to live in Lexington, Kentucky. And she said that, no offense to people from Kentucky, but she said it's a kind of a small town.
Yeah, I think so.
There's not a whole lot. It's very different than like big cities, United States. But that's kind of like the charm with regard to a small town in general, because people are different in small towns versus big towns, big cities. Okay, interesting. I didn't know that about you.
So Japanese can remember Kentucky because there are many KFC.
Oh man. Kentucky Fried Chicken. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I grew up. Yeah. That's been around for a long time. Okay, so you were born there.
Yes.
And you already moved back
to Kyoto, and
Kyoto.
Then Osaka, and then Hokkaido, and now Tokyo.
Wow. Okay. So what was your childhood like? How was growing up for you?
So my father, I think my father like not too urban city, little bit rural area he likes. So I grew up in nature-rich town. For example, when I lived in Kyoto, there are mountains or big rivers near my house.
Right.
I can see wild monkeys.
Really?
Yeah.
In Kyoto?
In Kyoto, northern part of Kyoto city. So and after moving to Osaka, my back side of my house was a little mountain.
Wow.
So I grew up in nature-rich area, and I love nature and I love animals, and I love animals ever since I can remember. But my parents don't like animals at
all.
At all, not so.
Not so much.
Yeah. So I asked my parents to give me a dog, but they refused for a while.
Okay.
But I have to move it from Kyoto to Osaka. I didn't want to move, of course.
Right.
You know, children don't want to change their school.
Right.
So I negotiated with my parents.
Okay.
To give me a dog or I cannot move.
Oh, you cannot move.
Yeah. And then they bought me a dog.
What kind of puppy did they give you?
Shiba dog.
Oh,
Japanese
Shiba Inu.
traditional
Right.
kind.
Wow. Okay. Was that like a newborn puppy?
Newborn puppy.
Right.
Yes.
Right. What was the name?
Shiba. The breed
the breed.
name is Shiba. And because my father don't like dogs, so he want me to name simple name.
Okay.
So the name is Shiba.
Really?
Yes. He cannot remember difficult names, so I have to name simple, very, very simple name.
Okay.
Shiba.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have any siblings, brothers, sisters?
Yeah, I have my older sister.
Older sister?
Yes.
Okay. I see. Does she like animals too?
She like animals, but I love more.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you had Shiba, and that was in Kyoto. Or were you already
moved
moving?
to Osaka? Yes.
Moved to Osaka. So you moved to Osaka in grade school?
In elementary school.
Elementary?
Fifth grade.
Fifth grade.
And lived until I graduated from high school. I lived in Osaka.
Wow. Okay, so you must be around 10, 11 years old at that time?
8 years or so.
8 years?
Yeah, 10 years
right,
old.
10.
Yes.
Around 10 years old. I see. Okay. So what did you remember from your childhood, like in Kyoto or in Osaka? Did you spend a lot of time outdoors? Did you have a lot of friends?
Yeah, I have friends, but I prefer my house. Spend time with my sister or with my dog. I love my house. But I sometimes go out with my friends.
Right.
And my elementary school and the junior high school and high school, they're very near to my house. Only 5 minutes walk or 10 minutes bicycle. So after I finish school, I go back to my home soon. And I didn't go to cram school.
So, what is cram school?
Cram school, is it only in Japan?
Only in Japan.
Really?
Maybe Korea too.
Maybe Korea. I see. So cram school is to study to pass entrance exam for high school or university in addition to normal school. So
you have entrance exam for high school as well. So is that the first entrance exam usually?
My first entrance exam was for junior high school.
For junior high. Wow.
My school was combined. Junior high school and high school was combined.
So you only have one entrance exam?
Yes.
I see.
Until graduate from high school.
I see. Okay. And so cram school is like an after school?
Yes.
All right. Yeah. In the United States, we have after school programs, but usually it's only if the students want to extend their studies or improve on a particular subject that they're not good at. So if they're not good at math, they might go to like a cram school only for math. But that's not to do an entrance exam because we don't have entrance exams.
Really?
Typically, we don't. Maybe private schools, they do have entrance exams, but most public schools do not have entrance exams.
I see.
So the first exam that you take is to get into university.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But funny, it's like in the last few years, there are some schools that have actually removed any requirement for entrance exam.
In the United States?
Yes. And they only review your application based on your application and based on your high school grade and based on your essays.
I see.
It's sort of controversial, and some schools that did that actually already moved back to requiring entrance exams now. So, not sure. Not sure if it was a wise decision or not, but there was a thinking that if students are disqualified because of low scores, then I don't know, there's a question about fairness. Because people that come from more wealthy families, they have more time to prepare, they have more money to send their kids to prep schools, right, to prepare for their SAT before the exam, so that when they take the exam, they already have a lot of preparation. But if you come from a poorer family, they don't have money to have their kids go to a prep school. So there was that debate on,
I see.
Is it good or bad to have entrance exam requirements?
Yeah, it's controversial.
Yeah. I guess you don't debate that here. It is a requirement.
Okay.
So, okay. So did you take care of Shiba most of the time?
Yes.
Are you the caretaker?
Yes.
Okay.
I take care of the dog, feed, and take a walk. Almost all of that's my duty.
The whole time.
Yes.
Right. See, sometimes I have reluctance because my kids also, I think they want a puppy. My reluctance is in taking care of the puppy, but also in the fact that I will feel very sad when they pass away.
Yeah, I understand. It's very, very sad. So
it's the reality, right, of owning a pet.
Right.
At some point, they'll leave you because that's it.
Yeah, it's very sad, but the happiness the dog gave us is more than the sadness. We are very happy with them.
Right.
Now I have 2 dogs.
Now you have 2?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because I've seen some of my friends and how they are when they lose their pet. And it's really like some of them, it seems like it's like losing a family member.
Yeah.
Right?
I understand.
But they said the same thing. They said the same. They said that the joy was worth it.
Yes. Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
So cute.
So when you graduated from high school, where did you go to school after that, and in university, and what did you study?
So I went to Hokkaido University to study veterinary medicine. And the reason why I went to the university is for veterinary medicine, Hokkaido University is the most popular or the best university in Japan. It's famous for it.
Okay.
So I studied hard, and I'm not so talented or I'm not so smart child before, but my older sister is very smart, and she taught me how to study, and then I could pass the exam, I think.
So in what way did she help you in terms of the entrance exam? How did she help?
So it's difficult to explain, but so she told me the concept of study, not just calculate questions, but we need to understand the basic rules of, for example, mathematical rules.
Right.
So she told me how to study, how efficiently study, not the detail,
right,
but the how to.
Right. Yeah, that's the problem, or that's the challenge with entrance exams. Is it's not like regular studying for like a regular exam. There's a science to it in terms of how they challenge you, what kind of questions, and it's almost like a lot of practice.
Yeah.
And with more practice, you get really good at it. And so was that your first time that you lived in Hokkaido at the time?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
But before I moved to Hokkaido, I went maybe first grade of high school. I visited Hokkaido University for the open day in summer.
Okay.
To see the university
campus.
for students. They opened the university, and I loved the scenery of the university. You know, Hokkaido is spacious than Tokyo or Osaka and other prefecture in Japan.
Right.
So the university is, I think, the most spacious university in Japan. They have the best land, the largest land, I think.
Yeah.
And there are some forest and rivers inside the college area. I think in the United States, those colleges are common, but in Japan, only building or no forest university is more common. So I love the nature-rich university.
Okay.
And you can see the kitakitsune, fox, wild fox inside the university.
Inside?
Yes.
Are they terrified of people, or they're used to seeing people? Those foxes.
They just pass by.
Really?
Yes.
Like street dogs.
Not so many, but yes, similar like that.
Wow. Is it the red color type?
Yellow.
Red. It's yellow color.
Mm.
Those foxes.
Fox, yes.
Because when I drove in Hokkaido last year, I did see some of them on the road, like on the side of the road.
Yes.
They're like wild foxes, but they're pretty small.
Yes,
they're not big. They're not like those foxes that you see in movies. Right, the small ones.
Yes, small one.
Oh. Is that native to Hokkaido?
Yes, native species.
And they're not. Are they in other parts of Japan as well, or only Hokkaido?
Only Hokkaido.
Really?
The fox.
Wow. Okay, so you studied veterinarian medicine.
Yes.
And how was that? Was that difficult? Was that easy for you?
That was, I can say, difficult, but I really enjoyed my university life. And also, I belonged to Equestrian club. I heard that except Japan, there is no club activities run by university. You know, in Japan, university run, for example, tennis club, golf club, other sports club, or something are very, very common. But in the United States, I think there is no such club activities.
It depends. It depends. I think that we do have club activities, and it changes from one school to the next. Yeah.
So I belong to Equestrian club, and it was very busy. We have to visit the club at maybe 5 a.m. every day.
Wow.
Except for weekends, of course, because we have to take care of the horses.
So the club members take care of the horses?
Of course.
So who do they belong to?
The university.
Ah. Okay. And so what do you do at 5 a.m.?
So we have to take care of, for example, clean up the horses.
The
stable. And practice horseback riding.
Right.
And we have to finish it before first class in the morning in the university. So it started 5 a.m.
Wow. And your classes start like what, 8 a.m.?
8 or 9.
So you have 2-3 hours.
Yes.
Every day.
Every day. And we have to feed them, of course, in the afternoon. So we are very busy. So many of the club members repeated years, but I wanted to avoid repeat years in college. So I try my best and I didn't repeat years.
Wow. So because they're too busy taking care of horses?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. And were you in the club throughout the university?
So the club activity is 4 years club.
Okay.
So I did 4 years.
4 years.
But so most of the faculty in 4 years, but for veterinary medicine and medical faculty and also pharmaceutical, they need 6 years. to graduate.
I see.
So I studied at the university for 6 years, but the club activity was 4 years.
4 years.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm.
And at that time, when you first joined the club, what was that like? Was it difficult to get into the discipline of the club activity? I mean, club activity starts at 5 a.m.
Yes, it was very tough. So
Yeah.
when we entered the university, the first grade club member, maybe, for example, 20
Right.
first grade freshman year students,
freshmen, 20
for
people.
example, start from 20,
Yeah.
and at the end of the year, maybe 10 students, and the second year, maybe 5 students only remain because the club activity is too busy.
Yeah, I mean, if I were with you during your freshman year, I'll probably drop out in the second month.
Most of them are drop out.
Yeah, I'm definitely dropping out because coming at 5 a.m. every day.
And even in winter, Hokkaido become under 10 degree, 10 minus 10.
Oh, minus 10.
Yeah. So it's very cold, but we have to wash horse legs by water. So I love Hokkaido. I love summer Hokkaido, but I don't like winter because of the club activity.
Okay. Why do you have to wash their legs?
So because they run on the ground, it's dirty.
Right.
So we clean up.
What happens if they don't get clean?
Maybe dirty, then some
infection.
Germ. Yeah, infection. Yes.
Wow. And do these horses, are they typically healthy? They live a long life? Or?
Yes, long life.
Okay.
And most of the horses are retired race horses.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. And what's the typical life span of a racehorse? Like how many years do they live typically?
So the racehorse life is, the average is very short.
Short.
If they cannot run fast,
right,
then they are no useless.
Right.
So if they are lucky, they will go to universities, equestrian club, or maybe horseback riding club. But other than
that's like retirement for them. Retirement. They are retired from racing. Now they're in equestrian to enjoy the last few years of their life.
Yes. Or killed for dog food or...
Wow. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dog food?
Or most of them are killed, I think, because they are too costly to keep them alive.
So there is a horse race track near where I live in California. And there are always people that demonstrate against horse racing because they think it's animal cruelty. Because a lot of the race horses end up dying.
Yes.
And I think it's a fact of life that's the nature of horse racing.
It's an industry.
Yeah, and it's difficult on the horses. And it shortened their lifespan.
Yes.
Like sumo wrestlers. Same. And some people just do not like that.
I know.
Yeah.
It's controversial.
Internationally,
I know.
Yeah. Some people think like it's not it's not the right thing to do.
Right.
But I guess it is what it is. And I think a lot of people in Kentucky will disagree.
Yes.
Because it's it's one of their, traditions.
Yes.
Horse racing is a tradition over there. Yes. So maybe there's a reason why you were born in Lexington, Kentucky.
Maybe, yes.
Maybe that's why you
I have
like
a connection
horses.
with horses.
Yeah. Okay. How long does it take for a person to learn horseback riding?
That's a good question.
For average person like me. Not very athletic.
If you go to Horseback riding club maybe once a week, then maybe 6 months or 1 year you can do canter, hakeyasu,
What is that? Just regular
regular how to
slow
say- no,
slow riding.
gallop.
Oh,
Or-
gallop. Okay. Galloping.
You need to practice
Uh-huh.
to gallop and control horses.
Right.
Maybe 1 year. I'm not sure because for like me, I started Equestrian club from university and I ride horses almost every day.
Every day. Yeah.
So not common people do that.
So you don't need a long time to get into the learning.
But very difficult to control horses precisely. Still, I feel I'm not good at horseback riding. Even I practiced more than 4 years. It's not enough for me.
Do people fall off horses? Do people fall
Fall? Yeah, often.
from
yes.
the horses?
Yes, often.
Often. Especially if you're new.
No.
If you're just learning. Because when you ride a bicycle, when you learn to ride a bicycle, you fall all the time. What about in
So if you want to
horseback?
Practice horseback riding to, how can I say, to run, 試合に出る。How can I say?
To go fast.
To go fast and you want to win some contest, you have to practice intensity.
Right.
And then you will.
That's when you fall. But if it's just regular riding.
If it's just a hobby, then you will not fall.
Usually not fall. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Unless you're just sloppy and like, woo. Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. So in the equestrian club, do people go into any competitive horseback riding competition, or it's just for hobby in your university?
So as club activity, we joined competitions.
Okay. What kind?
In Hokkaido, there are 3 universities that has equestrian club.
Okay.
So we often compete with. And
okay.
once a year, not international, countrywide competition for university students. So the goal of the club is to win the Japanese contest for students.
Okay.
But I didn't, so how can I say? I'm not so good at equestrian. My friend, my club friend joined the contest. Competition.
And they have won some contests?
Yes.
Okay. I see. So you only joined for fun?
Yeah.
Okay. What other club activities were you part of when you were in
Only equestrian.
Only equestrian?
It's too busy.
It's enough.
It's enough.
Equestrian is enough.
Enough.
Wow. Okay. And was that was for 4 years? So 4 years of...
Yes.
Okay. And did you have to do that on the weekends as well?
Of course,
to take turn
of course.
Cleaning up? Really? Yes. 7 days a week? But you take turns with other club members?
But almost 6 days a week.
6 days a week. Wow.
In the morning, in the afternoon.
That's a big commitment, right?
Right.
Yeah. That's like 25% of your college learning time.
Yes.
To do that.
Yes. So my GPA is not high.
My GPA is also not high, but I didn't take care of horses.
And in Japan, I think I said to you before, but in Japan, when we do job hunting, the company don't see our GPA, only the university's name.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's culture.
Culturally.
So Japanese students enter university with hard work.
Right.
But after entering university, we say we satisfied with entering the university, and the GPA is not so high.
So you just either go party every day or go horseback riding every day.
That's a Japanese student.
Nice. Yeah. I think it's a very interesting concept, because when I entered university, I didn't find it to be difficult to enter. But after I was in university, I struggled, because they expect really high performance or really high learning ability. Because when you struggle to learn, you struggle to understand the concept. And when you struggle to understand the concept, you won't do well. You know, it's not the college courses. Many of them are very practical and expects you to learn the concepts and not just memorize. Right? When you do like a physics calculation or a math calculation, it's not just remembering something. It's not a history. It's not geography. You actually have to understand how to do it in order to do it. So yeah, I struggled. Getting in was the easy part. After that, I struggled.
So that's different culture.
That's the difference. Yeah.
Yes.
And I felt like I studied quite a lot when I was in university, instead of just being able to enjoy it. So you graduated after 6 years then?
Yes.
6 years.
And passed the exam for veterinary medicine license.
Did you take
the license.
Did you study for that license while you were in college? While you were in university?
Okay. The 6 years is for the exam.
Including the exam.
Yeah. Everyone takes a test.
And how many people studied veterinary medicine when you were in school? How big was your class?
All of them.
Everybody.
In the veterinary medicine faculty. Everyone.
How many people was that?
In Hokkaido University, there are only 40 students one grade. But in the private university, maybe 100 or...
I see.
Yeah, more than 100 students in one grade. So.
Okay, and so after you got that, what did you do? Did you become a vet?
No.
You didn't become a vet?
Right. So I joined BCG, the consulting company, and I didn't work as a vet for the first career. You
joined BCG. Why did you decide to join consulting company?
I have a friend in the college, and this story I talked at Toastmasters Club before, but one of my friends did suicide. And he was very close to me, and the last person he contacted was me. And he was depressed, and he went to hospital regularly, but I know it after the suicide. And that experience was one of the most impactful event for me. And after that, of course, I like animals, but I wanted to help people like him. So I struggled to what should I do in my career or after graduation. And then I find a institution or NPO in New York. It's called Green Chimneys. The institution is for students. They are not good at studying or in regular school. They need some help.
Yeah.
Then in Green Chimney, there are animals and there is huge farms for the student to improve their heart or
like their well-being, their mental health.
Then the student can graduate from the institution and then leave society. So I wanted to work there if I could speak English very well. But at that moment, I couldn't speak English at all. And I have the license of vet, but the license is only effective in Japan. So there is no reason they hired me. So I gave up at that moment to enter the institution. And in Japan, there is no similar institution because those institution needs money to run.
Right.
And in New York or in the United States, they are cultured to donate. People donate the institution or the states give money for such institution. But in Japan, there is less donation. So it's difficult to run that kind of system. So that's why I couldn't find specific company or institution for my first career. And when I'm thinking about my first career, my older sister is the midst of her job hunting. And then when I go back to my parents' house in my summer vacation, and I chat with my sister, and she said she met a consultant at the university she go. It's a job hunting event, maybe in the university.
Career event.
Career event.
Yeah.
And then she talked with consultant from BCG, and she said he was very cool and he was very smart, and she was excited. And I didn't know about consultant or BCG or nothing. I know. So I Googled the website of BCG.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I noticed that kind of profession is. Okay. And then I searched BCG's homepage, and I find that they did pro bono free consultation for WWF or Japan Guide Dog Associations. Then I thought this company must be a good company. So, and it sounds interesting.
Right.
Yeah. That's the start of why I wanted to.
So after you find that, after you did your research, what else did you do? Did you apply to a job at BCG?
I applied via the recruiting homepage of BCG.
Okay.
And I applied for some companies, but the BCG was my first choice. And then at that time, BCG hire only from students like top university like Tokyo or Kyoto University. And Hokkaido University is famous for veterinary medicine, but the entire university is not so high level.
Right.
So I was half given up to be hired by BCG, but I'm so lucky to be.
What was the process like? So you applied and then they contacted you?
Firstly, I applied online, and we have to took SPI exam online test to see basic intellectually, like mathematics or Japanese.
So just kokugo. Basic,
very basic test to see. And then after that, they check our resume, and then some of them passed the test. Then on first interview, and then we call it job, summer job or winter job. It's 2
like
days internship. Yeah, very short internship.
Okay.
And then the BCG staff see how, for example, I collaborate with team members and how I make presentation.
Right.
And then after that, that's all.
So you started at BCG as a summer intern, like to do summer internship.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But to join the internship, we need to pass some test and resume. Yeah.
Okay. And after the internship was over, did you end up working with them as a full-time?
Sorry?
As a full-time employee?
Yes,
at BCG?
full-time employee. Yes.
So you start as a starting consultant or analyst?
Yeah, analyst.
And what kind of projects did you?
I joined many projects related to medical company and other, for example, like convenience store, supermarket, or trains, or data centers.
So it's all kinds of industries.
Company. Yes.
So
B2B
not
and
specific.
B2C.
And you work in teams of how many people usually?
Maybe 4 or 5 people.
4 to 5 people. Okay. So after you join consulting, did the work seem interesting or meet your expectation?
Yeah, it was.
What happened?
It was exciting. It was very busy, but exciting. And I like the people in BCC. They are smart and they are kind. They are humble. I like it. And I like learning new things. So I like study a new topic that I didn't know. So I think I really enjoyed it. Yeah,
consulting is one of the best ways to learn about new industries.
Yes.
New things. And where were you based in? Was that Tokyo or was it in Osaka?
So mainly Tokyo, but some project I visited Hokkaido.
Oh, you did?
I have a strong bond to Hokkaido.
So you went back there for some of the projects?
Weekly, I visited Hokkaido. Weekly, yes.
Oh, did you pick those projects?
No,
did you select them?
Assigned it.
You were assigned?
Yes.
I see. So what kind of projects were those in Hokkaido?
So Hokkaido's project was cost cutting. So I checked the detail of the financial information of the company, and then we cut some cost for the company.
Okay. And typically it was a few months of project?
It was about 6 months.
6 months. Okay.
But normally 6 months is long project, long project.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 months or 3 months is popular at the moment.
Right. And what were some of the most interesting type of projects or assignments that you got when you were at BCG?
Every project was exciting in different aspects. So the Hokkaido project was interesting because it related to medical industry. So it's the field that I know, or I have the knowledge.
Right.
And other project, some project is international project. I live in Tokyo, but the client is in other countries and use English. So I struggled with English.
Oh, okay.
That was interesting too. But the most every project was interesting. Difficult to explain.
Mostly with Japanese companies, or you have some with international companies?
Maybe half.
Oh, half and half. Really?
So it was hard for me. I couldn't understand what they are speaking in the meeting for the first time.
Right. How long did it take for you to get used to
English
speaking clients and English speaking meetings?
I didn't get used to it.
Okay.
It was hard, but I like it.
So when you did consulting, were there clients that were upset in working with you because they they feel like their work is being challenged?
Yeah, sometimes yes.
Like a bad negative perception of consultants.
Yes, so sometimes the client get upset.
Get
but,
upset
but the project leader or project partner is deal with it.
They deal with it.
Yes.
Yeah. They get to deal with the upset customers,
yes.
clients. Yeah, that's what I do too.
But I think finally most of the clients thanks to us.
Really?
So
okay, that's good. Yeah. As a program manager, I deal with upset people.
Yeah.
Almost all the time, whether it's internal or external, and there's a way to do it that is helpful, and then there's a way to do it where you make things worse. So hopefully you don't make things worse when somebody is upset with you.
Yeah.
How long were you in consulting? Or how long were you with Boston Consulting Group?
So I worked there about 3 years. In Japan, people say you should stay one company at least 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I try to stay there for 3 years. And in 3 years, I experienced many industry projects, many topic, many. Yeah, I experienced a basic project patterns. And then I realized I like animals. And there is almost no animal-related project in BCG.
In BCG.
But only one project, not project, but as I said earlier, BCG provides pro bono WWF consulting project, and I have a chance to apply to join the WWF project inside BCG. So BCG search some stuff they want to join the project, but it's international company, and there are many English native staff. So I tried to apply, but my English level was so low, so I couldn't pass. And but it's understandable for the company. But other than that project, there is almost no animal-related project, and I realized I should spend my precious time for animals. Then I wanted to change my career. To next.
Okay. I was just when you said earlier about your college friend that passed away.
Yeah.
How did that experience affect you? Because it's always a tough thing to lose somebody so early or prematurely in their life. Of course, when nobody knows when it's their time to go, but when people commit suicide, that's the only time that they decided to end their life. How did that change you or affect you? Did it change something in the way you think or in the way you perceive life?
Yeah, of course, it changed my perception of life. Before that, I didn't imagine life can be end so sudden.
Right.
I couldn't imagine that, but it happened. So yeah, I have to think my life, and the time is very precious. And when I was a college student or just after graduated from university, I thought I like to help people because of the experience. But this thought, this hope is common for people who have experienced friends loss or family loss.
Yep.
They want to help people.
Yes. Yes.
But after a few years, I realized that the people who want to help others need help. So I thought I need to live my life for me, not to help others. Of course, it's okay to help others.
Right.
But I need to put importance on my life, on myself. So my thought was changed gradually. So at first, I tried to help others, but then now I think it's better to live myself, my life, to do what I want to do. And it's
yeah, it's
so I changed my thought.
Do you think that it's common for young people in Japan to know someone or to have someone experience, this kind of experience where somebody they know or their friend actually decided to end their life? Do you think it's a common thing in Japan? Or
yeah. Some people do that.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's common.
Right.
But sometimes happen.
Right. I mean, for me, I think what you said is interesting because when something drastic happened in your life, there is an immediate reaction. And sometimes the immediate reaction is in response to that event, And I think for you, helping someone was a motivation at first.
Yeah.
In response to that event.
Yes.
And yeah, I kind of know what you mean. I also grew up in a society where sometimes there is an importance to putting other people first before you put yourself. But in the end, we are responsible for our own lives.
Yeah.
If we don't live our lives well, then we will not be a positive force for people around us.
Right, exactly.
So if I try to help other people, but I'm still struggling in life, then it's a struggle.
Yes.
Then you will not get away from that. But you did consulting for 3 years.
Yes.
Do you think consulting firms do a good job helping people or helping clients? Or
so the reason why I joined consulting company for my first career was I wanted to work or run like NPO or nonprofit organization to help people at first,
right,
with animals, of course.
Right.
And I know I have the knowledge about animals, but I don't know about, for example, financing or how to run company or institution.
Yeah.
I don't know at all. So I wanted to learn how to run companies and how to make profit to keep the institution forever.
I see.
That's one of the reasons I chose consulting. Then I could learn financing, accounting. Yeah, I know it now.
It's almost like being in an MBA because
you're
surrounded with people that
yes.
are business oriented, business savvy.
Yes, and I met many entrepreneurs or presidents who devote themselves to what they love, and I feel it's very cool. Then I want to spend my time for animals. Or now I'm doing animal hospitals.
Very interesting. Because when I graduated from college, I too wanted to join consulting.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They just
I
don't
didn't
like
know
me.
that.
Nobody ever liked me enough to hire me. Because in the 2000s, in the early 2000s, consulting was a very hot career.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very attractive career path for graduates. People either want to go to finance or consulting. Back then they didn't really have. It was very competitive. Right?
Yeah.
So not only that you have to be smart, but you have to have, come from good school, good grades, good GPA. I come from a pretty good school, bad GPA.
Oh.
So never got it to any interviews, really, except for maybe one very informal interview, because, and then he only told me, you're still a sophomore. You still have 2 more years ahead of you. So it's too early to hire you.
Oh.
But other than that, the perception is only smart people made it to consulting. I think it's still true.
Yeah.
I think it's still very true.
I think so.
You need to be very quick thinking. So during the interview, you have to really excel in order to impress them.
Yes.
All right. So why did you decide to leave
BCG?
BCG.
So I want to focus on, or I want to do some work related to animals. So
Okay.
I asked my friend.
Okay.
And he knows pet related startup company. So he introduced me the company, and I visited the office, and I met the president and other directors, and then they liked me and I liked the company, so I changed my job.
Wow. Okay. So what did you become a vet at that time, or?
No, still the second career is also office worker, or how can I say, planning department.
Planning.
And I was responsible for, firstly, e-commerce for pet owners, like deliver pet food, or deliver pet toys, to the pet owners. I created a website and produced some products.
Wow.
That was my first assignment in that company. And after maybe 1 or 2 years, then the company acquired an animal hospital.
Oh, wow.
Coincidentally in Hokkaido.
In Hokkaido, again.
Again.
So you've
Hokkaido.
gone back to Hokkaido.
Yes. And then I become the main responsible person to manage the hospitals, because I have the license of vet, and I did experience in consulting companies. So I manage the hospitals, and I met some vets in the animal hospital, and I remember animal hospitals vets work very, how can I say, it's interesting, and with, I think the QOL of vet's life is very high, because they work, but the customer, the pets are so cute. So of course there is stress, but the stress level is lower than normal office work. I feel.
Because they really get that enjoyment.
Yes.
From what they do.
Yes.
Okay.
So I enjoy the project of managing hospitals. But after 1 year maybe, then I loved the director of the previous director of the animal hospital group. But sometimes my opinion and the company's president opinion didn't match. And of course, the final decision is made by the president.
Sure.
So I wanted to change the company to do what I want to do. So I love the staff in the company and I love what I was doing, but sometimes I felt uncomfortable. So I changed my career and next step I wanted to work as veterinarian. Before that, after graduation, I work as office worker only.
Right.
But I realized veterinarian work is very interesting and great work. They work and they made pet owner happy and the animals become healthier. So that's great. So I asked another acquaintance, and he ran the company that I currently belong to.
I see. And for you to be a vet in Japan, do you have to maintain that license?
No need to do something or no need to pay
So it's
money
forever.
Effect.
Once you are licensed, you're licensed.
Yes.
Effectively.
That's all. Yes.
Okay. Without having to renew. There's no renewal or anything like that. Wow. Okay. So, okay, then you joined the new company.
Yeah.
And what did you do there?
So I asked him, the previous president of the current company, I want to work as a vet for some part of my working hours.
Right.
But I'm good at office work, like corporate planning department. So I did half and half.
Okay.
And the president was also vet. And he was also worked at BCG before I joined BCG.
Wow. Okay.
He graduated from another university.
Okay.
So our careers was a little bit similar.
Yeah.
So he understand what I want to do. So it was very easy to communicate with him.
Right.
Yeah.
So at an animal hospital, you see all kinds of animals, and there are different
mainly
types.
dogs and cats.
Mainly dogs and cats.
Yes.
Okay. Are there regulations in Japan where you cannot have certain kinds of animals at home?
If it's dangerous, like animals with poison, maybe you have to register.
Okay.
In the city or in the prefecture before purchase it.
Okay.
But most of the pets are okay. You cannot have wild animals.
Have you seen that old guy with the alligator?
So they need to register something before they have it.
But it's possible.
Yeah, I think so.
But it's possible.
Possible, I think so. Alligator or bear.
In all parts of Japan, or is that a local regulation?
I think it's all over Japan.
The whole country.
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
But you need to register before you get. Of course, it's too dangerous for other neighbors.
Wow. Okay. Even bears. You said bears.
Yes.
You can own bears in Japan?
Yes. I heard the news that one man have bear as a pet. And then one day he was eaten by the bear.
Really?
I saw the news, I think, many years ago. But
is it in Hokkaido?
No, I don't think so. In other prefecture.
Wow. What was the strangest? Have you met any strange animals in the animal hospital?
So the hospital I manage is mainly dogs and cats hospital. So
you don't deal with like wild animals,
little birds or like hamster, rabbits.
Okay,
those are
still like pet
type
animals.
Yes.
Okay. And you still like that job? I mean, that's still what you do to this day.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so we're starting again.
Okay.
We have to move to another room. Hopefully we don't get kicked out of this one.
Okay.
You were talking about your career
Yes.
and about changes in your company. So tell us again what happened.
In the current company?
In the current company, right.
So I joined this company about 3 years ago. And firstly, I'm responsible for managing. At that moment, there was only 5 animal hospitals. And now 7 hospitals. So the number is increasing because our company have to grow.
Right.
And there are another 4 animal hospital. It's bigger than normal clinic. So I'm responsible for first aid clinic or regular checking up clinic.
Okay.
And there are another second level.
Okay.
Or the pet owner needs reference to get surgery or to be consulted. So there are different levels of hospitals. And I'm responsible for the clinic type of hospital. And so in total, there are 11 animal hospitals in my company now. And what I'm doing is I'm doing almost everything to manage the hospital, like recruiting or to make new rules like welfare.
Right.
Or update the website and manage the headquarter office members. So I'm doing many things.
Many things. And is this currently what you still do in the company?
Yeah, it's what
juggling
I'm doing.
Many different responsibilities.
Yes.
Okay. How do you like it?
I like what I'm doing because I can leverage my experience in my consulting companies. For example, I can understand financial data and analyze it and report it to the steering committee meetings. So I think I provide value for the current company. And at the same time, I like the staff and I like the hospitals because we help many animals. So I'm satisfied with it.
So are these different hospitals? Do they do the same thing or they do different types of services?
Mainly same thing. But the difference is there is no big difference, honestly. But for example, one hospital's director like surgery and the other like, for example, cardiac disease or something. So they are good at different part of treatment.
Right.
So
a different specialty within different hospitals.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did the company grow? Did they acquire some of these hospitals?
Yes, we acquire animal hospital. There are many hospitals in Japan, and some director of the hospital want to retire. So we acquire those animal hospitals.
I see. Okay. What do your parents or your friends think about your work? Do they see it as unique for a career in Japan?
Yeah, it's unique, I think. Working as a vet is very common for vets.
Common, right?
Yeah, but my position is not mainly working as a vet, but managing the hospitals. And there are some animal hospital group companies in Japan and in the world, but not so many, not so a lot. It's like emerging market. I mean, previously, maybe 5 years ago, there is almost no animal hospital group. But now this kind of business is growing. It's a kind of trend to merge small hospitals to a big company.
Okay. And is it different than the way that other countries do veterinary? Are there differences in Japan and in other countries, for example? The kind of
So
treatments, the kind of...
I don't have many knowledge about what they are doing in overseas, but I heard that in the United States, the consolidation of animal hospital is more progressed. So the biggest company called VCA has, I think, more than 10,000 hospitals in the United States, a very big group. So it's popular. And in Japan, there is not so big animal hospital group yet.
Yeah, I've heard of VCA, even though I don't have pets, but I have. I know of them because there's quite a few in California.
I think so.
Yeah.
And the treatment is basically the same.
The same.
But I think the price is different. I think the price is higher in the United States and cheaper in Japan, I think.
So in Japan, if you want to treat pets, do they go through an insurance policy or?
Yeah, it's depend on the pet owner, but you can purchase or you can prescribe insurance for pets. And the number of insurance is growing. Insurance market.
Right. I see. Okay. Let's shift topic and kind of discuss just Japan in general. So I find that the Japanese culture is quite interesting to me. And in terms of just how the country is evolving, I think back in the 90s when I visited Japan, I hardly saw any foreigners working in Japan. Whereas when I go visit Japan now, foreign workers is a very common thing. And foreign workers that speak Japanese, I mean, that's very common now.
Yes.
How is the society evolving as from your perspective? You know, the Japan that you knew back when you were growing up to the Japan that you are living in right now. What do you think are some of the evolution?
Evolution. It's an interesting question. Evolution. Evolution. It's a difficult question. Evolution regarding animals or anything? Anything.
In general, I guess.
In general.
Right?
In general.
Is that the wind we're hearing?
Yeah, wind. Yes.
That's the wind. It's a windy day.
Yes.
See, in California, we have windy days as well. And when it's windy, it could be dangerous because you have a lot of big container trucks on our highways. And if the wind is too strong, it may cause accidents. Because these trucks, even though they're big and heavy, they can topple.
Wow.
Like,
too dangerous.
It's too dangerous. So when they're going around certain curves, they have to be very careful, slow down.
Wow.
Otherwise, they can just topple. Yeah. And your truck is gone.
Wow.
Basically. Because it's too strong.
Strong. In Japan, I don't hear about that kind of accident.
People probably drive slower. I don't know.
Evolution.
We're back to evolution.
Too difficult. Evolution.
Sometimes when you live in a certain place, you don't see you don't feel the changes because it's happening over time.
Right. Right.
Happening over time. But from outsiders' perspective, sometimes you see that.
For me, I think it's difficult because I moved a lot, like
right.
Kyoto, Osaka, and then Hokkaido and Tokyo, and I
Right.
changed jobs, my
Right.
jobs, so
Right.
my environment is always changing. So
Always changing. And in terms of your, so you've lived in different cities, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And what are your favorite type of places to live in?
I like forest or grassland.
You want to live in a forest?
Forest or grassland.
Grassland.
Yes.
Oh.
That's my a kind of dream.
Okay.
To have a house in that kind of rural area.
Okay.
But now I live in Tokyo, so I need more nature. I like Tokyo, very convenient. Anything I can purchase. There are many shops, many restaurants. A little bit expensive, but we can go anywhere I want. But for my ideal place, I prefer peaceful, nature-rich place. So I'm thinking about live outside of Tokyo.
Are there places like that in, that you've visited?
So
around the
I like
country?
Hokkaido, but as I said earlier, I'm not. I prefer warm place, not too cold place.
Right.
So Hokkaido is a little bit cold.
A little bit
for
cold
me.
in winter.
In winter.
Yeah.
I love the summer Hokkaido.
Right. Summer is perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, Hokkaido is very rich in sceneries and it's a very different part of Japan.
Yes.
Yeah. And not many people visit Hokkaido, I think. Mostly people went
Tokyo and
and they'll go Hokkaido maybe for skiing, maybe. It's very popular with some of my friends and family. Yeah, they would go to Hokkaido, Niseko.
And I like Kyoto, but recently there are too many tourists. So I don't like crowded place.
Yes. When I went to Kyoto last year, it was too crowded as well. I don't know. I mean, Tokyo is very crowded.
Yeah.
And different parts of Japan, do you see that there are different like subcultures between different cities, different parts of Japan? Yes.
I think Osaka is, very, people love comedy. They are
in Osaka.
In Osaka, they love comedy, manzai, and they are very funny talking.
Right.
I love the characters. So I lived there from junior high school and high school. My friend was so funny. I loved him.
Your school friends?
School friends was so nice.
Okay.
For example, when I lived in Osaka, a stranger talked to me like friend.
Right. Right.
It won't happen in Tokyo, right?
Never.
Never. But people in Osaka is so friendly. They talk anyone.
Wow. And what about Hokkaido? What are some differences that you see there?
I think people in Hokkaido are calm and very kind. Not so, how can I say? They are warmer than people in Tokyo.
Right. Right.
When you visit local rural area, local people welcome you.
Right.
With warm atmosphere. So I love the place.
Wow. And would you, but sometimes it's a balance, right? Between where you work, what your company does, and the limitation. I mean, unless you work completely remotely, you're tied to a specific job or career.
So currently my head office is in Tokyo, in the center of Tokyo.
Right.
So I have to live in Tokyo, but I can work remotely for some parts of my working days. So if I really want to working from home or working from somewhere else, I can do that. But currently, I'm mainly working at the office or visit the group animal hospitals.
Right. Okay. Recently, you gave a speech about the volunteer work with street cats.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that work and why it's significant?
So in Toastmasters Club, I made a speech and it was for stray cats in Japan. And to decrease the number of stray cats is very important because stray cats have to live severe wild environment with not much food. So it's better to completely. So if there is no stray cats, it's better. But there's some stray cats in Japan here. So what we want to do is to decrease the number of stray cats. And then what we do is to do the surgery, neutered surgery. Then the cats can live their own life, but they cannot reproduce the kitten.
Right.
So then the number will decrease gradually. So we call it TNR activity, trap and neuter and return. So the activity is very important to help cats. So one of my animal hospital is famous for TNR activity.
I see.
So we do as a routine or almost every day there is stray cat. The volunteer bring cats. So that's what we do in this hospital. And what other than our hospital, there are many animal hospitals or many vets who devote their time to reduce the stray cats. And there are many volunteers also.
But so systematically, you basically, the volunteers just get in a car and look for stray cats and bring them back? Is that how the process works?
Yeah. So the volunteer have cages.
Okay.
And they put on the cage in maybe in a park or in their house, garden.
Public places
sometimes. Right. And then there are some food. So stray cats go inside the cage.
Right.
And the volunteer bring it to the hospital.
Okay. And it's an effective method of capture.
Yeah, very effective. Wow. Or there is no other way to reduce it.
How do they do it in other countries? Like, I've never heard of this in America. And I think in America, they just let the cats roam.
Oh, that's interesting.
There's no population control or anything like that.
I'm not sure about what is happening in the other countries.
But they might become prey if they are bigger. Wild animals, like in California, we have coyotes, mountain lions sometimes even bears. Yeah. I don't know if bears eat cats, but there's no method of control or anything like that. So this is the first time I've heard about this kind of procedure.
Really? Maybe Japanese love animals in cats and dogs.
Yeah, even if they're stray cats.
And for
interesting
India, religious reason, there are many dogs and cows anywhere, and they don't want to reduce the number of dogs and cows.
Right.
So maybe it's related to religions.
Yeah, it's different from place to place. Interesting. Do you still travel as part of your job and do you have hospitals in other parts of Japan as well?
Yes, I have many business trips to Hokkaido and to Ibaragi Prefecture and Kanagawa Prefecture, and other is in Tokyo.
Okay. Interesting. And is the company, you think, going to expand further?
Yeah, I think so. The number will increase. We will do M&A continuously. So we may get a new hospital in other area like Kansai area. It's possible.
I see. In terms of pets in Japan, what's more popular these days? Cats or dogs? Or are they still
cats
equally?
are getting popular in Japan. Previously, dogs are popular, and they
Really?
Yeah, and pet owner keep their dog outside. Previously, maybe more than 10 years ago, that's the popular way to keep the dog outside, medium size or large dogs. But currently, most of people live in not big house apartment with a small number of family, like only the couples or not so many children. So they have limited spaces. So small dogs are getting popular. And after that, cats don't need take a walk. It's very convenient to keep for especially busy workers, office workers.
They take care of themselves.
Yeah. So I think that's one of the reasons the number of cats is getting increased.
Yeah. I think in America, dogs are still more popular because you see them all the time walking.
And they have large space to keep
large, So you have anything, they have the large dogs and then the small puppies, everything in between.
And also, people in the US have cars, your own cars. But for example, in Tokyo, not everyone have their car. So if you want to travel, you need to bring the dog by themselves, like
in a carrier. So they cannot be outside of a cage or a carrier.
Right.
I saw a lot of strollers. I think people start using strollers as well.
Yes.
For small dogs. Oh, okay. But when you're in an outdoor space like a park, you're allowed to walk your dogs and bring them outside. Always have to be leashed.
Yes.
I see. So it takes more work to own a larger dog.
Yeah. It's costly.
Okay. Interesting. Do you think you'll ever switch to a different career?
In the future? Yeah, I'm thinking about it. But not only now, but almost every year I think about my future. And if I'm satisfied with the people around me, like coworkers, then I basically continue the job.
Right.
But if I want to keep my integrity, or I want to keep what I want to do. So if I feel I cannot do what I want to do, then I think next step.
Right. Previously in Japan, there is a culture of staying for a long time with one or two companies. Does that still exist?
Yes and no, but it's changing, I think.
It's changing.
Job change is getting popular for especially young generation. For example, my father didn't, how can I say? When I tell him I changed my job, then he told me, "Oh, it's too early. Only 3 years? I can't believe it." Something like that.
But changing after 3 years is too early.
Too early for my father's generation. But my colleagues or coworkers, they change careers in 3 years, or if it's short, 1 year. So it's getting common to change jobs.
So, do you think you'll work in an industry outside of animal treatment or animal care?
So I experienced at first my career, I tried in many industries.
Right.
Then I realized that I love animals and I like to focus on animals. So in my future, I want to choose not related industries. I stick to animal related something.
Oh, okay. And in Japan, as a vet, are you able to treat any kinds of animals that
Yes.
are domesticated animals?
The definition of vet is we can treat anything except for human.
Okay.
So we can treat animals, not only, I mean, mammals, but also the fish or the bees. That's our responsibility.
So, for example, if you ended up working for a zoo, or you end up working for a nonprofit that takes care of rescuing fish that gets trapped on the beach, like you're able to use your license to treat those animals as well.
Yes.
So it's not just for pets.
Yes.
Or I see. Interesting.
Very interesting.
When did you decide to pursue the veterinary license or veterinary medicine?
So when I was in junior high school, I wanted to become a dog trainer.
Oh.
Not vets. Dog trainer or dolphin trainer in aquarium.
Dolphin trainer.
Yeah. But my father told me, you should go to university. So I checked the kind of faculties, and vets is only one what I'm interested in.
That's the only one you want to...
Only one.
Ah, okay. And that's what you ended up. So junior high school.
Yeah, maybe junior high school, yes. Or the first grade of high school. I have very narrow interest.
Did you have full support from your parents when you decided to pursue this major?
Yes. But my father is a kind of strict person. My father is a doctor, and my family's and my family's relatives are medical related people, doctors or pharmacists or nurses. There are many kinds of healthcare. Yeah, healthcare family professions. Yeah. So I feel that my father want us, including my older sister, to become a doctor, but he didn't forced us to do that. But when I said I don't want to become a doctor, but I would like to become vet, then he told me you should go to the best university in Japan.
Wow. Okay, so he was supportive.
Kind of. Yeah. Kind of. Kind of.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. When you studied veterinary medicine, you said it was a challenging subject. If you were to give advice to people that are thinking to go into this kind of profession, like what kind of advice or what kind of guidance would you give them? Is there anything that you see amongst your friends when you were at the university, or anything that you see throughout the university education of veterinary medicine that they should know about?
So after I graduated university, I realized that not everyone has strong interest in specific topic. Like in my case, I like animals, but not everyone has specific job, dream job.
Right.
So I feel I'm lucky or happy to have that specific job or dream it's very clear.
It's very clear for you
Very
what you want
clear.
to pursue.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And I think my friends, I mean vet friends,
Yeah.
or my senior vets, they look very happy. And for office worker, they most of them retire when they reach maybe 65 years old or so.
Yeah.
They are decided by the company.
Yeah.
But vets continue
To work.
as long as they can work.
Wow.
Because they love the work, the job. So I think it's very lucky and happy thing. They can do what they want to do and earn money. So if someone want to become vets in the future, I recommend to pursue your dream. It's very if you can follow your dream, then you can become happy life.
Wow.
I believe so.
Yeah. Like you are. Well, Eddie, it's a pleasure, and it's been very fun talking to you and listening to your life experiences. I hope that you really enjoy your career now and in the future. And yeah, I look forward to speaking to you again when you have chosen perhaps a different direction in your career. And I think you're the person, the friend that I have who loves animals so much that you are dedicating your life to the care of animals. And yeah, I wish you the very best. And thank you again for speaking to me.
I enjoyed very much.
Thank you, Eddie.
Thank you.
All right, till next time.